The cam sensor is likely to be on the end of the camshaft, obviously. Mine is here. The crank sensor, however, is notoriously more difficult to get to because of the nature of where it needs to be. Mine's at the back of my engine, at the end of the crankshaft, down there. For about a week or so, my car's been starting fine when it's cold, but when it gets hot, it doesn't start at all. I suspected it was either a failure with my cam sensor or with my crank sensor. These are both Hall effect sensors, and what that means is they both work off the same magnetic principle. So this is the crank sensor. It has a magnet in the end and a coil running through it. This is the ring on the end of the crankshaft. So as the teeth pass the end of the sensor, it generates a voltage and sends that as a signal to the ECU. So it can calculate the engine RPM, and it can calculate the fuel injection and the ignition timing and so on. Undo the 2 bolts. So here is the old cam sensor compared to the new one, and they look identical, which is always promising. The new cam sensor is bolted on, and it's now a case of waiting for the engine to warm up, turn it off, leave it for 10, and see if it starts. So the car was hot just now and it started up perfectly, which means hopefully I won't have to change the crank sensor as well, which I wasn't not looking forward to doing. But if you do need to change yours, all you need to do is unbolt it and replace it in exactly the same way. But make sure that the length of your replacement shaft is exactly the same as your old one. This is because that gap is so small that if you buy the wrong one, the reluctor ring could actually chew up the end of the sensor.